Hello, my listeners. Today's story is brought to you on a rainy night. The title is Little Teddy Left Behind by Anne Mangan and Joanne Moss. Little Teddy woke up and sneezed loudly. No one heard him because no one was there. Nicola and Jack had moved to a new house. "I'm all alone," said Teddy. "They've left me behind. They never were very good at packing. I'm all dusty too," he said, and he sneezed and he sneezed. It grew dark, and at last Teddy went to sleep again. Until the next morning, when the cleaning lady's dog spotted him and picked him up. "What have you there?" asked the lady, and when she saw how grubby Teddy was, she grabbed him with her big hands and popped him into the washing machine. "Oh, help!" cried little Teddy, but nobody heard his tiny squeak. It was dreadful in the washing machine. Teddy was whirled round and round until he was quite dizzy. He growled his very loudest growl, but nobody came to rescue him. At last he was spun dry and the machine stopped. Teddy lay there among all the damp clothes, wondering what would happen next. The cleaning lady opened the machine door and took Teddy out. "You're not quite dry yet," she said. "I am so," growled little Teddy, but she took no notice and pinned him upside down on a clothesline. "I'd rather be dirty and up the right way," he cried, but of course nobody heard his tiny squeak. It was windy, and Teddy swung back and forth on the clothesline. It was exciting in a way, like flying in space. All at once the line broke, and Teddy fell down, down, down into the grass. Butterflies flew all around him and bees buzzed over his head. Teddy liked the bright, cheerful butterflies, but he was a bit afraid of the bees. "You scare me," he squeaked, but the bees were too busy to hear him. Suddenly, Teddy felt hot breath in his ear. "Oh no!" he cried. "It's that dog again!" The dog seized the little bear in his big teeth and pushed through a very prickly hedge into the next garden. "Oh, my poor fur!" gasped Teddy. A lady looked up as the dog rushed onto her lawn. "Ugh! He's got a rat in his mouth!" she screamed, and threw a gardening glove at them. "I'm not a rat!" growled Teddy. The dog ran out through the garden gate into a wood. "Oh, I do wish he'd drop me," thought Teddy, and at last he did. The dog spotted a rabbit and ran off, leaving Teddy behind. Teddy lay very still, hoping the dog wouldn't come back. It was quiet in the wood, but not for long. Two children came rushing towards him. "Hey, a little Teddy!" cried one of the children. "That's me," thought Teddy. "Now what?" He soon found out. "Catch!" the boy yelled, and poor Teddy was tossed from one to the other until he felt quite sick. Jack and Nicola had never played with him like this. At last the children grew tired of their game, and the girl flung little Teddy high into the air. Up, up, up he sailed, right into the branches of a tall tree. No sooner had he landed than he heard an angry chittering noise. "Trying to steal my nuts, are you?" Teddy looked down. At the end of his branch, a squirrel was glaring at him. Teddy tried to explain about the boy and girl and their awful game of catch, but the squirrel didn't seem to hear. "This is my tree," he said, giving Teddy a sudden push. The little bear fell down, 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 and landed on a wooden floor. He was lying there, getting his breath back and worrying whether Jack and Nicola would ever find him again, when he heard children's voices. He tried his growl and he tried his squeak, but they were too small for the children to hear him. The floor was as dusty as the empty room he had left behind. Once again, little Teddy began to sneeze and sneeze. The sneezes were louder than the growl and the squeak, and at last the voices came nearer. "Look, there's a ladder! It's a tree house!" Two faces were peering at him. Two faces he knew very well. "It's little Teddy!" cried Jack. "How did he get into our new garden? I thought he was all packed up." "I don't know, but it doesn't matter," said Nicola, giving Teddy a hug. "We found Teddy and a tree house." "It's Teddy's tree house," said Jack. "He found it." His very own house. Little Teddy liked the idea. A few days later, Nicola and Jack had a housewarming party for all their friends. Each friend brought a teddy bear, so that little Teddy could have his own friends at his own housewarming in his new home in the big tree. And that is today's story.